I'm
just, like,
coming,
stay
Cosmo, and I'm
perched.
barreling in. And I'm also attacking.
Right, mate. Dwarf Pyro! Give him the people's elbow!
Kill him.
Oh, I'm
Oh,
gonna accidentally
fuck.
kill this. Didn't we
This
just go
commoner
over
is so
commoner
dead.
HP like a second ago?
We were just talking
Kill him
about
in the
this.
name of the rock.
Yeah, so we're going to do a new thing that actually got the idea from our friends over at the Greetings Adventurers podcast. But we are going to have our homies here roll, and whoever rolls the lowest gets the honor of doing the recap from last week.
Do I get to invoke any sort of
Yeah, do I have my
Bon-
proficiency?
Can I give myself guidance?
I mean, you all would have you all would have the same proficiency bonuses.
Mad
so
stealth.
son of a bitch? Can
I
I
got
get
I believe in you.
a gentleman 6.
Okay.
My question
nice.
about guidance still stands.
No, you do not get guidance. I like
that
it.
is
You're
a-
like, I give guidance to myself only, ever.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm the only one I don't like touching other people. It's a touch spell. I got a 15.
Okay.
so the lowest goes?
Yes.
Alright, fuck.
What'd you get?
Fuck yeah. I got a solid 19.
God. Nice.
All right,
All right.
kids, everybody shut up. So, last week in the shenanigans, the gang, we traveled, or actually, I guess 2 weeks ago, but we landed in the town of Whitport. We met a halfling named Cedric, who really likes the color blue, as I have in my notes for some reason. He was the one who set the bounty. He's the one who sent out that bounty looking for who may have committed murders and wants to find out who did it. Through some investigation, we learned that it might be a tiger. We found some orange fur and a drunk guy who was convinced he saw tigers. What else did we learn? We learned that one of the victims was a half-elf male that was killed about a month ago, and the other one was unfortunately a young girl, human,
Right.
about 2 days ago.
Bella.
Bella. After
Bella.
examining, and Ellis was the male.
Mhm.
Excuse me. After examining Bella's body, we discovered nothing super pressing. She got kind of torn apart in a rather graphic, violent way.
She was whole.
Yeah, she was whole. Ellis had been ripped apart. She had a big gash going across her throat, like one
Oh, that's
killing
right.
blow, and then
Mhm.
she had been found in the
In
water on the other side.
Yep.
So her wounds were clean, but
Yeah, in my notes, I have all in one piece and torn in half in back-to-back notes. I don't know which one.
Nope.
choose your own adventure.
So then we found out that through some investigating, her good friend James, who lives with Molly, his mother, on the map is 5. They were supposed to meet up together to go run one final errand to Joseph the Butcher before she finally had gone missing and then was found later that day, I believe, or maybe
Right.
later that afternoon by someone across the river from their home. They're in
The
I think
farmer.
it's 10 on the map. Yeah. Bella lives in 10. Her body is found at 2. She was discovered by the guy who lives at 6. And Joseph, we don't actually know. I think Joseph's 11.
Joseph is located at 4. That's where his shop
Joseph is the
when
butcher,
you-
yeah.
Yeah,
Joseph's
you guys
the
saw him.
butcher
yeah,
at 4. Yeah, that's
you
right.
saw him at his shop. You don't know where he lives, but you saw him at his shop when
Right.
you guys were coming into town.
Yes.
And as we were doing some investigating around the little meadow just outside of 10, where Bella and James like to meet up and chat and do teenage things.
Listen to Evanescence and
Yeah,
My Chemical
a
Romance.
lot of Flyleaf.
Yeah.
We
It's
found
disgusting.
we found evidence of a struggle. We found a bunch of blood, which Rangrim, I believe,
some
discerned to
paws.
be pretty fresh. we saw some claw marks and more tuft of orange fur. Glenn took off his fanciful robes as he does and climbed into a tree. The rest of the group started following the tracks, and I noticed, as well as I believe Cosmo, a figure off in the distance that was watching us who just turned
Yes.
and ran, and that's where we finished.
Yeah, so that
How'd I do?
figure, very good. Yeah, great
Do I
job.
get
Pretty good.
inspiration?
Great job. Yeah, you can have inspiration. I think that's a
Sick.
solid reward for that.
Solid.
I think that actually, unless you used it last time too, Dan, I think you still have inspiration as well.
That is a very good question, sir.
What is inspiration?
Says it does on
Inspiration-
my character sheet, so
It's essentially you get advantage on a roll of your choice, just for doing
Rad.
something cool, RP wise or whatnot. I forgot what Rangrim did, but it was something really rad.
I just honestly like having a little
Oh,
sun.
It was in episode 3. It was when you pulled the pants down on all of the
Oh my
soldiers
gosh.
yeah.
because
You
they
got
had done
real
it, they
petty.
had not let you put your pants up.
You're
which was
petty
the
about
best. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
great.
That's
Super
when we
good.
learned Rangrim's petty.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Tom Petty.
that is where we left off.
Great.
Yeah. No, that was awesome. Yeah, so just to give context on the map of where you saw the figure, you were traveling from 10 to 5. You were about halfway through. You would have seen the figure probably at least 60 feet away from you, south, towards the southern region, and they took off running south. So we will pick up right there. And what do you want to do?
So how? Okay, so we saw the figure. How far is he from me?
They were 60 feet away, and then they turned and ran. They're running straight south. It's pretty dark in the trees. A humanoid figure, humanoid size, shape.
Okay. 60 feet.
As
I've-
stealthily as possible, I'm going to be moving from tree branch to tree branch, trying to keep up with him, and I'm sending Poe ahead of me because he's faster.
Okay.
To try to keep pace with kind of where he would be.
For sure. Roll with disadvantage for Poe. Just see if you can keep an eye on them
Okay.
for perception.
And was it just me and
Rangrim
Glenn-
did not see them. You were standing right
Right.
behind Rangrim.
Yeah, I was.
If you want to grab Rangrim or let them know,
Right. Okay.
So I had a 23 for my stealth check, but the Poe has a perception of 9.
okay. Yeah, I will say that you can kind of see movement, so you're seeing them. They're posting them sporadically, but not able to keep like a consistent eye on them. You're just seeing kind of like, oh, there's movement there. Oh, there's movement there as they're passing through the trees, and you're kind of Poe is seeing them through the gaps.
Okay.
They're continuing to kind of head in a southeasterly direction.
Right. And we were in the tree lines, or were we still standing in the meadow?
You are halfway. You're in the tree.
I was in the trees.
Yep, you're essentially right there where the trees kind of change color on the map between the green
Right.
and
Okay.
the
Okay.
orange. You are midway.
Okay. All right. So I think I would just probably nudge. I would just be like, "Oi, Rangrim! There he is! Let's get him!"
And I would absolutely just give chase and blindly follow Cosmo.
Awesome.
I think.
Yeah, roll me athletics.
Yeah. So
Actually, you two, Glenn, athletics or acrobatics because you're up in the trees. You can roll acrobatics.
Doing flips and shit.
Yeah.
19 for acrobatics.
Awesome. Yeah, you're keeping pace for sure
Um.
and not tripping up.
22.
Awesome.
Ooh.
Great roll, Rangrim.
I am not. I think I fall.
Okay, what'd you roll?
A 1.
Oh yes. Yeah. Okay. So
Cheers.
So you go to run, and with a 1, I'm actually going to say that you are kind of running because you're in front. You grab Rangram and you go, and you trip and fall right in front of Rangram and cause Rangram to trip as well. So both of you guys are prone technically right now, and you can get up, but you're definitely going to lose a little bit of ground. So Glenn is definitely going to be ahead of you. Up in the trees, and you can no longer see the figure, so you're just gonna be running in a direction without actually being able to see them.
Would I have heard that they like ate shit?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, roll me a perception check. Let's see, because you might be super aware or not aware just because you're focusing on this one figure.
12.
Yeah, I will say that you hear a commotion. You don't know what it was, but you definitely hear a bunch of oofs from that sound like your buddies.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I would
And thuds.
when I heard that, I would take out
Doofta.
I'd take out a dagger and I would just chuck it at like a tree trunk below me, maybe like 20 feet ahead to like kind of leave like a bread trail, just to like give them a direction to keep running.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Rad. Yeah, I like it. Roll me just roll me a sleight of hand. Let's see what happens there.
I kill Rangrim.
I was gonna say, you hit me with this dagger.
He bounces and ricochets.
Oh no, natural 19 plus 7,
yeah.
so yeah, 26.
It does.
Yeah.
He does it.
Yeah.
I throw it and it inscribes the arrow. Just
Whoop.
You have a little note. You were able to draw a little note really quickly. Just it's like dangling from it.
He's
like
going
fucking
this
Naruto.
way with an arrow.
so I keep chase. I keep
Awesome.
tracking
Yeah,
this
you're able to
individual down.
You're able to keep up the chase. Are you guys just getting up and going?
Cosmo, watch where I'm
Oh,
going,
oh.
and I would get up and then
Sorry, mate.
running
Sorry,
and
mate.
see
I
the
think
lovely directions that we've been given from our friend
Yeah.
on trees.
Yeah. So you're able to. You lose a little bit of time just getting up. Just like I said, the guy gets out of range of you. You can't really see them visually anymore. But you head in that direction. What's up?
Cosmo is going to be like, I'm gonna cut around the other way, and he goes east.
Okay. Yeah, you're gonna kind of cut through and try to see if
Yeah.
you can cut him off.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I've already fallen, so fuck it. And so I'm gonna cut more east headed towards 5, towards that
Awesome.
that
Yeah,
road.
Roll me a. Let me see. Roll me a. I guess another athletics check. I want to get something a little bit more interesting than that. Let me take a look real quick.
I'm sorry. We started between 10 and 5, and he was running kind of towards 8, right? Southeast.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, cool. Thank you.
I want to see if I can get something a little bit more interesting here for you to roll. Is there still survival?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do
Survival
that.
nature.
A 0 for my survival. I'm kidding.
I'm just seeing like how you can how well you're able to like run through this and like differentiate your I guess spatial awareness within.
Oh,
this
sure.
forest.
Okay. Yeah.
Makes sense.
A nat motherfucking 20.
Hell yeah. Okay, that's great. So Rangram, are you
You
going
go
with him,
east
or are
so
you kind of
hard?
going in the same direction, following Glenn's directions?
Based on what Cosmo said, I would be kind of just following suit from where Glenn was going to have Cosmo kind of attempt
Okay.
to flank, I guess.
Awesome. Yeah, just roll me another athletics then. See how quick you go.
That one is not that good. That would be I believe, a 9. That's
Okay.
a 9.
Okay, so I'll say that you're kind of not 100% sure where you're going, so you're kind of following suit, kind of slower than normal. You're not able to like full steam ahead run. So I'll say that you're making good time, but you're not 100% sure where you're going. So you're just kind of going in this blindly in this direction slowly.
All right. I would look around for a minute. I'm just going to kind of scratch my head, and as I scratch my head, I'm going to cast guidance on myself and see if I can see where Glenn is.
Awesome. Yeah. Roll me a perception.
Well, I don't think I even need the D4, but I will add it nonetheless. That is a 23.
Yeah, you can definitely see, like, you can see Glenn through the trees, and kind of you can discern exactly which direction he's going, so you can take off in that direction. And I'll
Yep.
say that you're able to pick up your pace because of that, and kind of keep up full steam ahead going in that direction. Cosmo, you come barreling through this little clearing here, between essentially like where this pathway goes to the cabin.
Mhm.
Go barreling through that and barreling through the other side, and as soon as you come through that, you're maybe 30 feet into those woods before you just collide with a figure that is and just knock you both, go kind of just sprawling to the ground.
Ooh.
And what you're seeing in front of you is a pretty scraggly human, kind of like longer hair, like unkept facial hair, pretty nasty, dirty, street worn clothes, and they just kind of go sprawling onto their back, and you kind of just like fall on your stomach.
Watch where you're going, mate. And then I think I look over and like, oh yeah, and I try to grapple him. Like
Okay,
I just
yeah, because they're kind of like trying to get themselves up, but if you're gonna grapple them really quickly, then yeah, they're kind of like backpedaling on the ground on their ass, and then you can just jump on him from like a kind of frog jump kind of situation you have going on right now. Yeah, so just roll me a athletics check.
Athletics, got it. Fuck yeah. Okay, let me just.
Glenn, you are also coming up on this, and Rangrim, you are as well. You're going to be here very shortly.
It is a 17 to grapple.
Yeah. So you grab this person, and you just kind of belly flop on top of them, and you're holding them down on the ground. And they're pretty thin. They seem like essentially kind of malnourished, and they're just like, "Hey, get off me, man! Hey,
What
what are you doing?
What were you doing in the woods, mate?
I live in the woods.
Why were you stalking us?
I wasn't stalking. I was just looking. You guys were walking through.
Why'd you run?
Because you guys are scary, man.
That's not. You tell me the truth.
Okay, roll me a intimidation.
Oh yeah, done.
Because you're gonna Batman growl this guy.
I got nothing. I
Yeah.
was gonna go
Oh,
for it, and
I
I
was waiting
backed
for
out.
someone to
I
do
was
it.
going for it, and I was like, no, it's not gonna happen. It is not going to happen. Let's see. Intimidation is a
I was
12.
hoping you'd go with George Clooney Batman, not Christian
I thought
Bale.
you were just gonna do a fucking like job for a cowboy throat growl or something.
It is a 12 to intimidate.
Yeah, let me roll. He actually matched you, so he's not intimidated by. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna give you advantage because you're on top of him.
Perfect. I'll take it.
I think that's only fair.
That's still where I land.
Okay.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that this person they're not really intimidated. They're just kind of scared, and they're not really even
Okay.
listening to what you're saying. They're just trying to wiggle out from underneath you, and your weight is able to keep them. But they're just like, "Oh, get off me!"
Okay,
Ah."
I'm gonna put my arms like on his chest and just like put my full body weight on him and like try to like stop fighting me.
Okay. Rangrim and Glenn, you guys are coming across this scene right now as well.
Glenn would stay up in the tree. He
I'm
would just, like,
coming,
stay
Cosmo, and I'm
perched.
barreling in. And he also attacked
Right, mate. Dwarf Pyro! Give him the people's elbow.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
The little people's elbow.
flying dwarf elbow coming right in.
All right, make an unarmed attack on this guy.
With advantage, right? Because he's prone. and
Yeah,
grappled.
for sure. Yeah, definitely.
Kill him.
Oh, I'm
Oh,
gonna accidentally
fuck.
kill this. Didn't we
This
just go
commoner
over
is so
commoner
dead.
XP like a second ago?
We were just
Kill
talking
him
about
in the
this.
name of the rock.
Yeah, I mean, Rangrim has that spell where he can just like talk to dead, right? That's fine.
Oh, I got spare the dying. He'll be fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
Wait till you see what Glenn does.
I've
Spare the
already,
so
dying
that would
after
be
he
a
crushes
with
larynx.
I've
With advantage,
practically-
that's an 18.
I've already practically lay on hands, so I'm already
Okay.
there.
I'm gonna. Cosmo, I'm gonna give you or Rangrim, if one of you guys want to do another intimidation check, I'm gonna definitely have advantage again on that because that is you just fucking people elbow this guy. How much damage did you do?
Oh, I did. I only rolled a 18 to hit. I did not roll my damage. I will roll that.
Oh yeah, you definitely hit with an 18 for sure.
He was wearing raggedy clothes and
Just
Oh,
wearing
my unarmed
ragged
strikes?
crows.
raggedy
it's a D4, right?
clothes.
D4 plus strength.
Guys,
Oh, actually, no. It says my unarms are just a 1 plus my strength modifier because I'm not proficient with unarmed.
Oh, nice.
So it would be
I
4.
didn't know you could not be proficient with your own
With your
hands.
own arms.
I'm sorry, I am not proficient with
Where-
this. I don't
Yeah,
know
dude,
how to
fuck.
manage this.
We're
Oh,
doing
no, it's
some
plus,
boxing
it's 1
drills.
plus my
Arms
plus
are
my
so
strength.
unwieldy.
So I am proficient with my own arms, thankfully.
Best would be if you're proficient with someone else's arms.
My
I'm proficient with beating you. You know what's funny? You probably would be proficient with beating someone with their own arm if you ripped it off.
Because of the hammers, yeah.
right.
Makes sense.
It's a club.
That's immediately what I'm gonna yell to this man that we have tackled.
Okay.
I might not be proficient with my arms, but I could be proficient with yours. And I'm gonna kind of like get him in like an armbar and pretend I'm gonna rip his arm off.
Yes. Okay. Awesome. Yeah. Roll me intimidation with advantage.
Natural 20.
Fuck. Yeah. So what are you trying to ask this guy?
I'm gonna look for a moment. I'm gonna like look confused, but I'm gonna look at Cosmo and like, who's this?
This is the guy who ran from us.
It is. What
Yeah.
were you running?
We heard you guys were asking around town. I was told to take a look at you guys.
Who told you?
Leon.
Leon. Who's Leon?
And actually, as you ask that, you hear two figures walk out of the bushes or out of the trees, just kind of to the east, and kind of two more scraggly looking figures. One of them is kind of a taller elven figure, but equally as dirty looking, kind of like really long, dirty blonde hair, and just kind of says, "Well, I'm Leon."
And what would you want with us, mate?
Well, if you don't mind getting off my friend, we can have a civilized conversation about this.
From the tree, does Glenn notice like any type of like special clothes that might have matched the people that like jumped us previously?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, they don't really. So they don't have any kind of like, I guess, discerning markings. They just have some pretty worn-in clothes. They seem like they've been living in these things for quite a while.
Mm.
But they don't have any kind. They're not wearing any like soldier's garb or anything of that sort. I mean, of course, you don't really know.
Wait, why would I not know?
Well, I mean, the only discerning markings you had from the other people that attacked you were that they were wearing soldier's garbs.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. It's like they're not wearing like armor that's pierced with a bunch of
No,
holes
they're
and
wearing
stuff
no
like that.
armor and actually don't have any weapons either.
Okay. And where are they in relation to me? Because I'm in the trees. Are they like just below me? Or are they?
Yeah, they're just below you. They're probably maybe 15 feet away from Cosmo and Rangrim, where they've kind of tackled their buddy. And they've walked out of the woods kind of to the east, and you're just up above that.
Cool.
Yeah, if you guys don't mind, we can just kind of go back. We can just, if you guys want to come with us, we got a little clearing over here. We have a little campsite. We can have a civilized conversation about this whole thing.
Well, in the spirit of understanding, I'll allow it. And I get off of him. Get off of him, Rangrim. Let him up. He ain't gonna hurt us.
All right. And I
He's
get
a-
up.
Yeah, he immediately kind of crab walks backwards against a tree and kind of lifts himself up and runs back and kind of stands just behind Leon. And Leon just kind of like looks over at you guys and waves you over and starts walking back towards that eastern direction. And if you're following them, a pretty short distance later, you come into what looks like it's honestly very similar to where you guys camped before coming
Mhm.
to Whitport. It's just kind of a small clearing that has a pretty kind of dirty looking, very rundown campsite. It looks like
Right.
this thing was abandoned for a very long time, and then it's been used without much cleaning. If you guys want to roll me, all of you want to roll perceptions, that would
Oh.
be great, and I'll tell you a little bit more information based on that.
Just to clarify for me, Cosmo would not. He wouldn't have obviously he wouldn't have had his weapons out, but as he's following them, he does pull his.
Okay.
He only pulls his axe out.
Cool.
Shield is still on his back, but he's got his axe out.
Got a nat 1 for perception,
That's very perceptive of you.
Awesome.
and I
Are
got
you jumping down, by the way, Glenn, or are you still up in the tree?
up in the tree, and I got a 21 for stealth.
Okay, cool. So they do not know you're there. I'm going to say that maybe just due to the fact that you're kind of higher up, you're not able to pick up any kind of discerning, and you're kind of focused on this group right now.
That would be a 17 for
Awesome.
Rangrim.
Awesome. Yes. Good old perception. Okay. Yeah, so
Close his
Rangrim,
eyes.
one of the things you notice when you walk into this clearing is this kind of foul smell that smells kind of like rotting things, like creatures. You can see kind of scattered around. Well, I mean, I guess you would with the two. You kind of get the smell hits you right away, but you can see, Rangrim, that there seem to be like carcasses of smaller livestock kind of scattered around the town in very small pieces. There's no whole ones, but there's like definitely bones of what you would perceive to be some sort of small livestock, potentially like a goat, scattered around the campsite. And then there's a couple moldy tents and a fireplace in the middle. And the two ones that aren't Leon, the two other dirty looking folk, kind of go and sit down as far as on the opposite side of the campsite as they can from you guys. And Leon just kind of walks with a casual gait over to around the fire, which is kind of burning low, and just sits down on a stump. And there's a couple like fallen tree logs that have been pulled up around the fire as well. And just kind of just seems like he's waiting for you.
So Glenn
Rangrim would
would
walk in and kind of look over at everybody and be like, I think we found the goats. like choking back like just kind of like hastily just like kind of boot something out of his way. And hopefully not fall in this lovely pile of rotting goat anus.
Yeah, they're kind of just scattered around the campsite. Just seems like they haven't really been picking that after themselves. And you can see there's like clothing. There's just like, it just looks like these guys are just living in their own filth.
there's like grown people, like adults, or they
Yes.
look like kid. Okay.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
Glenn-
And then the elven figure, you don't know whether he's elvish or half elvish. But you can tell, like you can see his ears poking through his hair, and he's a little bit taller than the other two. And one of the guys, like I said, the one that got tackled is a human, like long, dark brown hair and scraggly facial hair. And Leon doesn't have any facial hair, but has a long blonde hair, dirty blonde hair. And then the other figure has kind of like roughly shorn, shorter hair, black hair, and is like a more portly human figure.
Glenn would try to rotate around the camp, stay in the tree lines, but try to be behind all of them, almost flanking them, but however
Okay.
close the tree line permits.
Yeah, I mean, you rolled a 20 for your stealth, so that's no problem at all.
And we're at. I think I understand where we are. Are we at 8?
You guys are at 8.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Okay.
You guys are at the old campsite.
That's what I thought.
From
Okay.
what I think you heard that from Cedric early on, that there was an old campsite that there was
Yeah.
some vagrants living in.
Yes, I remember the vagrants.
So after Glenn rotates, he's going to kind of take a seat and lean up against a tree. He's going to like kind of lean his back up against the tree and try to get like stable. And then he's going to use. He's gonna basically go bamf himself into Poe's body, and as a raven, Poe's gonna land and start to pick at one of the carcasses. That's
Rad.
like pretty close to town, or not town, but close to the camp.
Rad. I like
Just so
that
we
a
can
lot.
hear what's going on.
And
That is badass.
so Cosmo will walk over to the campsite and just kind of stand next to Rangrim.
Nice. How far away from Leon are you? Because Leon's sitting on a stump around the campfire. How far away would you say? Are you keeping your distance?
How many people are
There's
in
three
the
figures
campground?
total.
There's 3 figures total, and they're all standing together on that side of the campfire.
No, yeah, well, Leon's sitting the closest to you guys. The other 2 are probably 15 feet away from Leon, kind of more by where the tents are at.
Okay.
And they're kind of they're keeping their distance from you, especially
Okay,
the one
okay.
that seems pretty scared of you now.
Okay. Yeah, I will. I don't know if Rangrim was here, but I'll approach the fire, and just on the opposite side of him. But I don't sit.
Okay, yeah, you're just sitting there.
No,
Ramgram, are you
gonna stay
moving up as
standing.
well?
Yeah, I would move up with Cosmo. Same thing. I wouldn't take a seat.
Okay.
And I'd be standing there, shield at the ready, but leaning.
Okay. Yeah, I'll
On
say
my
that you guys
hammer.
are standing on the other side of the log. So the log's between you and him, and you're probably still about 10 feet away from him.
So you're the local vagrants I've heard about.
Well, it's quite an aggressive word for it, but yeah, we live our life free of society.
I don't mean to be offensive. It's just what the townsfolk seem to know about you. You seem to stay pretty far off, but
Yeah,
What-
they don't seem to like us much, to be honest. I've tried to stay out of town as much as possible, but we do have friends in there that do help us out from time to time.
right, we seem to get the same feeling towards us since we arrived.
Yeah,
Do-
the town doesn't like outsiders that much, to be honest.
Do you know why we're here?
Well, I assume it has something to do with the killings.
You'd be right. What do you know about them?
Well, not much, just what I've heard. I mean, we get some information, like I said, we go into town to get food and whatnot, but we don't know much more than what's been told. Heard that there was a man killed about a month ago, not too far from here, Ellis, and then we heard about the little girl, and we're sad to hear it.
Convenient. Little girl dies right where your men here. We're spying on us.
He you see him shoot a look over to the guy that was watching
What's his
you.
name?
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna give him a name. I actually don't have a name for him. Bareth.
Bareth. I like that.
Wasn't there a Gareth
Strong.
last episode?
There's gonna be a bunch of them.
It's just A through Z, and then
Of course, you
Aerith.
wouldn't actually know his name because you didn't ask it. But anyway,
That's fair.
so anyway, he kind of shoots a look at him, and oh yeah, yeah. So he shoots a look at him, and just kind of like a not very happy with him look, and goes, "Yeah, he was. I did. I'm not gonna lie to you. I did send him out there to kind of get the lay of land, to take a look at, kind of soak in what kind of vibe y'all were getting off."
Oh, I think he's pretty well soaked with our vibes now.
Yeah, you did seem to have made quite an impression on him, and not gonna lie, learning lessons is something that old Bareth over there has a hard time doing, as I can see.
What was
I'm just gonna look back over at Bareth and wink at him. And that's
He fucking flinches for sure. Absolutely.
okay, good.
As that's happening with Poe, Poe's gonna start like hopping from kind of carcass to carcass, and he's gonna be looking for any orange fur.
Okay. Yes. Roll me an investigation.
I like it.
Right.
I
Uh-oh.
doubt he has any plus to investigation.
Shit.
He has the opposite of plus. That is in the D&D world called a 5.
Oh, good. I will say that.
Well, hold on. Let me make if I'm in his head, do I get my hint or do I get his investigation?
I would say that you would get yours just
Right? That
because.
makes sense.
Yeah, I think you're getting yours. I wouldn't say that there's any. If it was an animal that had problems with vision, I might argue that, but I don't think. I think birds have pretty keen vision, so
I
I
feel
don't. I
like
think
it.
that if you're using your brain through his eyes, I don't think that you'd have any kind of negative.
Mm.
I would
Okay.
say you can use yours.
Then 14.
Yeah. So
Wow.
you're pecking around,
Very different.
and which is interesting. Are you actually eating some of the rotten meat on this?
But
Oh,
I-
is
I
for
don't-
sure. He's
I
a
don't-
raven.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
but
think.
it's you.
Yeah, if you're
No.
perceiving a sentence,
What you're-
sentences, you can taste the rotting goat flesh everywhere,
No, I don't
right?
think so. Right?
Is this an animorph situation?
No.
Well, you're like, no, you're well, shit.
He's trying to find.
When your
he's trying to
familiar is
decide.
within 100 feet of you, you can communicate with it telepathically. Additionally, as an action, you can see through your familiar's eyes and hear what it hears until the start of your next turn.
Okay. I think that's still plenty fine. So 14. After
But you don't
kind of
taste.
popping around a little bit, you don't see any kind of clumps of fur, but you do start noticing that there are. It's kind of imperceptible unless you were looking really closely, but similar to like how if you have a cat, there's just always hair on your carpet, and it's just kind of around everywhere. You're starting to notice after really kind of peering down and kind of looking past that first layer, there is just lots of kind of light colored hair, similar to that hair that you found, just kind of all over here.
And then, so for the layout of the camp, it's like they're sitting around a fire, and are there like little tents throughout
Yeah,
the
I would
place?
say that kind of spread evenly on the other side of the fire. There's three kind of moldy looking tents.
Okay, so I would, instruct Poe or encourage Poe to, once he's had his fill, kind of flap his way towards the nearest carcass that's near one of the tents. But we can discuss that in a second.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So as far as conversation goes, like, what? Taste buds are still the ravens. Probably tastes good. Probably. Yeah.
I think that's where we landed with that.
Appreciate that. So I think that Cosmo would basically probably lean in a little bit harder of just like, what? Why are you sending him off to try and find us then?
Well,
Seems
when
kind
there's
of
a
seems
when there's new-
suspicious.
I can appreciate that, but when there's new people in town, as we are outsiders, and I don't like surprises. I'd rather know who's around. I already know everyone in town, so if you guys are new, I want to at least see, kind of what you're bringing.
Right. Well, as opposed to spying on us, we have names. We've, fancy a nice dwarven mead. No sense in stalking us, especially when there's a killer on the loose. Right.
That is, I can appreciate that. I can see now that you all are figures of integrity. Well, for the most part, anyway, and quite adept at combat, it seems. And as you can see, we are unarmed. We mean you no harm.
From what I've gathered, this killer seems to have two forms.
What do you mean by that?
It's just a hunch, but from what we've seen, this killer does not always as he appears, and puts us in suspicion of all folk, including people like yourselves who haven't been here much long. In fact, from my research, it's right about the time these killings started. Eh?
on my convenience.
Well, from my research, y'all just got here. Y'all don't know us. We haven't killed anyone. I can give you my word on that.
I don't know
My
you.
friends here and us, we mean no harm to the villagers of this town. We have a friend in town that takes care of us, so we stay close so that he can help us out. But aside from that, we try not to intervene in any way, shape, or form in this town. Just let them go and let them live their lives. But we ain't killed no one.
Any chance this person might be able to vouch for you?
Yeah, roll persuasion.
Sure.
And if you guys want to do insight checks on any of this stuff, just call it out.
It's a 12.
Okay. Let me see. See what he rolls. So he kind of looks around a little bit and is like thinking to himself, I guess it don't hurt. Yeah, you can if you want to talk to someone in town and have them vouch for our integrity, you can go talk to Joseph. He's the one that, as you can see, unfortunately, we don't do such a good job of cleaning up. But he's been helping us out with some food recently. Been, with some goat meat, just kind of keeping some skin on our bones. It's been hard to find anything in the woods these days. And like I said, the townsfolk don't really like us going in there. We don't have much money between us. So we do what we can with what we have. But if you want to go talk to anyone, just go talk to Joseph.
While the Cosmo's still kind of having this conversation with Leon, Rangrim's just kind of poking around the campsite, and I'm just kind of poking and prodding through some of the corpses. I want to actually look for a bone. I'm specifically looking for teeth marks or something that might resemble any of the claw marks that we saw.
Yes. So yeah, roll your investigation.
And I'm going to use my inspiration.
Inspiration. It's an inspirational idea.
And I didn't need it because I rolled 2 18s. So
it's the second time. It's awesome.
That is a big waste of the inspiration, so bye-bye. But that would be with my my investigation's a 0, so 18 it is.
Awesome. Yeah. You start kind of poking around with your foot, keeping on the down low a little bit, and you turn this bone over, and there are some very sharp teeth marks and claw marks that are going deep into and have scratched this bone pretty well. And it would definitely you would recognize, especially even from having seen Bella so close and seeing the claw marks in the tree, and at this point seeing a lot of different examples of this creature, and you will definitely know that there are similar marks on this bone.
Cool.
Rangrim would take the bone and looking at it and say, "Hey Cosmo, what do you make of this?" And I'd throw it over to him while taking a much more aggressive posture as I'm walking back towards him.
While that's happening, Poe would have kind of done his little raven hops towards the biggest tent, trying to be as inconspicuous as possible. If there even is a larger tent.
They're all about the same, and I will say that they're pretty open. They're not closed, so there's not anything really hidden. You guys can see straight into all these, and they just have moldy kind of sleeping pads and kind of nested style blankets and crap thrown on the ground.
So the same way that when you go
big
to the
A-frame. Big A-frame tent, canvas build, kind of covered in moss and whatever else, and the front flaps are all open on these things.
So same way when you go to the beach and seagulls are picking at your food with you 5 feet away, Poe's gonna just start doing that through one of the big through one of the tents, and he's gonna look like he's just picking through it, but you think, or he's gonna be looking, or Glenn will be, I guess, looking through Poe's eyes for any of that orange fur.
Your buddy Bareth is gonna walk over and be like, "Hey, get out of there! Hey, you get now. Go!" He's trying to, he's kicking you. He's kicking at you because they're kind of standing over that direction. So as you kind of start going by, he's kind of kicking. He's starting to kick and like not getting super close to you, but he's trying to like scare you away.
Poe kind of like squawks at him and beats his wings out, kind of like pecks back at his foot and flies away. And then I drop out of Poe's sight. I am back into
Right.
back into Glenn.
So deep in Poe, you don't even remember your name anymore.
Who am I?
Don't
All
stay
I
in the
want
hawk
is
too
raw
long,
flesh.
Tobias. Don't stay in the hawk too long.
I just want rotting flesh.
Nobody understands that.
Hey, everyone loves Animorphs. That wonderful, wonderful, timeless thing that was Animorphs.
Oh,
Dude. Okay. So Cosmo would catch Rangrim's clever, like, I don't know what it would be. Body language, whatever. And,
His fronting.
right. And would basically just be like, well, Leon, was it?
Yeah, it's Leon.
Well,
And I could tell from your posture that y'all looking to be kind of not so friendly.
we're just suspicious. That's all. You came on to us in such an aggressive manner that I didn't
Well-
feel safe.
Well, from my reckoning, my friend here ran away from you the second he saw you, so I don't know what's very aggressive about that. That's pretty cowardly. And as you can see, his temperament has proven nothing but his cowardice since you got here.
I suppose
Here
you're
from the
right.
background, like, hey,
I suppose I understand it, but again, there's no reason to have been suspicious around us. You could have come to us. We could have come to you. But here we are. Nevertheless, we'll speak with Joseph on your behalf, and we'll let you know if we have any other questions.
all right.
Well then, carry on. Have a good day. And then he just leaves.
Okay.
Come on, Rain Grim. Let's go.
I like slowly make my way out, and I'm mean mugging him the whole way out.
He's just looking at you. He's not making any moves. He's just kind of has a stick and he's just poking the fire a little bit.
And I look over at Bareth, and then I leave.
Glenn stays behind to see if there's any interesting chatter that they have once the group leaves. If it's like that stereotypical scene where they immediately start talking about their diabolical plans as soon as the main characters walk away.
Yeah.
They stop monologuing.
They didn't
Actually-
even realize.
Actually, yeah. So Rangrim and Cosmo start walking away, and kind of as soon as they're out of visual sight, and a little bit of time after that, Glenn, you hear Bareth and Joe and Leon start to talk, and Bareth is basically saying like, what if they find out about the boy? And Leon just kind of looks at him and gives him that mean stare again, and Bareth goes quiet and then just kind of starts walking around the camp and going about his business, and no one's really talking after that.
Okay. Interesting. So when that happens, Glenn, what time of day is this?
I think it's around noon.
Okay, it's like
Yeah,
mid-afternoon.
because this
They're-
started at like 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think you guys are high noon now.
Do they stay around the camp, or do they like go off like about their day? What, like once they
How-
stop talking?
Leon doesn't move. He's just sitting at the fire, looking into it. Seems very contemplative. I assume you're not sitting there very long, so you're getting maybe like a couple minutes span of these guys, unless you're like really camping up there, and then Rangrim and Cosmo are gonna figure where the fuck you went
No,
to
that's
or whatever.
100% what's happening. Is Glenn would for sure just be like keeping an eye on this tent
Yeah.
until he felt like it was good enough for him to leave. So like
Bareth-
once they stop talking about whoever the boy is, Glenn would definitely hang out to see kind of if they go just back to like taking care of the camp, or are they like kind of separating? What's the back
Yeah, so I'll say that both of the Bareth, as soon as he got kind of shut down by Leon, he just kind of went into his tent and shut the flaps. And the other figure just came and sat around the fire with Leon, and he kind of like tries to engage him in conversation, just very like kind of like a hey, like, that Leon is not talking at all. He just kind of quiets after a second, and they just both sit there quietly.
Okay. Glenn drops down from the tree quietly, as quietly as he can, and would try to make an arc towards Bareth's tent out of sight.
Make a what?
Okay.
Make like from the tree line, you try to drop and get to Bareth's tent because he's closed the flaps and gone to sleep.
Okay.
He would try to make his way towards Bareth.
You do hear actually no, yeah, keep going. So you're going over to Barrett's tent?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you trying to go in the back flaps then, or what are you doing?
I mean, I imagine it's like there's a fireplace in the middle and then there's a bunch of tents, and he closed the flaps facing the fire. So that's
the back ones are also closed, like, but essentially like you could just pull them open.
So he would be kind of positioned.
So if there are 3 tents, think of a semicircle.
Yeah.
So the fire's here. Barrett's tent would be like right here.
So yeah, so he would go towards the back of Barrett's tent and be crouched, and again, as stealthily as possible, take a peek in to see if it's just Barrett in the tent, if there's other people in the tent.
Okay. Yeah. Just roll me a stealth check.
Oh no.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna say that you are walking towards the back of his tent, and you go to pull open the flap, were you pulling open the flap?
Yeah, I mean, he'd be like peeking in, like trying to like.
Okay. Yeah.
If there wasn't like a line of sight, he would like kind of fold it a little way.
So you go to pull the flap open, and the canvas is so rotted that the whole panel of it actually falls down, and you're just sitting there like holding this piece of canvas in your arm now, and you're completely exposed to Barrett, and Barrett just goes,
So quickly,
and you can hear the two from the fire get up really quickly and start moving over.
So quickly from this position, I have the tent in between us. Can I do a quick investigation check to see if I notice tufts of orange fur? Like super quick glance.
Yeah, go for it.
Oh Jesus Christ! It's
Change your D20.
7. Yeah, right.
You don't notice anything.
Okay.
You've alerted the entire camp during this stealthy maneuver, and like you have like 2 seconds to be like, oh fuck, and then you get to do whatever you're gonna do now.
So yeah, so I take a look and I go, well, this is my tent, and I just turn and run.
Yeah, do an acrobatics check
I just turn and dip.
or a stealth. Acrobatics or stealth.
I'm not being stealthy. I'm just gone.
Okay.
I'll be stealthy once I hit the tree line, but 16 for
Okay.
acrobatics.
Yeah. You're able to. Are you running straight through the forest? Or are you trying to get back up in the trees?
So no, I'm fucking booking it.
Okay. You just run in the darkness. Cool.
Yeah, so I'm running into the trees. Well, it's like noon, right? So I'm running into the trees, and I'm
Kind of a dappled kind of thing going on.
gonna keep retracing basically my steps. I'm gonna run, by my dagger, grab it because it's
Okay.
my waypoint as well, and keep going to where like I left my robes. I'm gonna aim for that meadow, and once I'm in the forest, I'm not worried about stealth anymore. I just go.
Okay. Cool.
They
Sounds good.
gotta sprint to keep up.
Sounds good.
I don't know where my friends went.
So where are you guys? Where are Rangram and Cosmo? Where are you guys heading to?
I think I would have just kind of headed back towards the road.
Okay, yeah, just kind of out towards where the
Yeah, I guess it would have
where
been
opens up there.
would have been would it go down towards Cedric's bridge, or would it go?
No, you would, if you were coming straight back out the way you came, you would be popping out kind of just north of Ellis's cabin. So just there by 1, you'll be kind of north of the cabin that's right there.
North of Oh, okay. Oh yeah, I see it there. Okay. And I think I would just kind of get far enough away and just probably say, "Hey, Rangrim, I don't think there's something not right there."
Either one of them is a tiger, or they have a tiger.
Did they feed? I was gonna go for the Tiger King joke, but I won't.
Oh, so Carol.
They-
But it smells
one
sardine oil.
one
Yeah,
of them
run.
100% needs
Immediately
to be
fucking
named
run.
Carol.
Sardine oil.
Whatever the third one's name is 100% Carol.
That's it. Canonically, it's Carol.
Carol. Right, and I don't know what is going on, but there is something wrong there. But where is Glenn? Did you ever see him?
Oh, the elf.
Right.
As you guys are saying that, Glenn comes sprinting full speed out of the fucking forest.
It looks like the it looks
Oh.
like the Terminator 2, where he's just like
Oh,
He's also made out of liquid metal.
there he is. There's the elf. There you is, Glenn. Where was you? We was looking for you.
I just keep running. I don't say anything. I just
Where are
keep
you
running.
going? Which direction?
Well, if I left my clothes at 10, right, in the meadow, so I'm running all the way through.
Okay, are you going to
Going.
communicate that at all?
I just look at him and run.
Well, I guess he just started running and just felt
as
like
I get out of earshot, I go, "Meet you at the tavern."
Tavern, and then I start sprinting also.
Ways dwarves are natural sprinters. Off to the tavern.
Very lethal across a short distance.
Awesome. Are you guys doing anything on your way there, or are you just going straight to the tavern?
Glenn's gonna go pick up his robes, pull the arrow from it, stick that back in his quiver, put his robes back on, and like try to look as calm as possible, even though he just sprinted like
Yeah, just
300
sweating
yards,
through his
yeah.
robes.
it's like
You know, those
Um,
leather jumpsuits, they just breathe so well
yeah,
too.
yeah,
So
that's what I've heard. Really wicks away the moisture, and then he's
Yeah.
going to take one last look at. So we found the tufts of fur. Or no, sorry, he found the claw marks. He's going to take another look around the campsite just to see if he found
the clearing, the meadow.
the clearing, just to see if he sees anything that doesn't look necessarily animal in nature, but looks like maybe James had met up with.
Yes. So roll
What's her
me
face?
an investigation.
Not that dice. Investigation. 17 plus 22. I can't do math. 22.
Yes. So I will say that you can see that coming out of kind of the pathway you guys were following, maybe not the same one, but kind of off to the side a little bit, you can see that there's a pretty well-worn path that runs to the east there, probably goes, you would guess, to the cabin. That, you know, it seems like this is a commonly walked from this meadow to that eastern cavern or cabin. And then you kind of notice something else. Like you can see the footprints of kind of like not smaller shoes, but you see what looks like kind of deeper footprints that seem to have been a little bit more in a hurry. And there was a little bit, and these are like human like shoe prints. They're a little bit larger, and you can see they kind of move around in a semicircle around where that blood was at. And then they kind of start heading out, and there's essentially what you can tell it looks like something was being dragged, and is going straight west out towards the water.
Okay. What using my foot in comparison, I'm a 6 foot, I don't know what the fuck elf feet look like, but I'm a 6 foot elf.
Smaller than your feet. I mean, do you have average size feet, or do you have what kind of shoe size we got going on here?
I'm 6'2".
I
have size 11 shoes.
You in the
so-
FNBA, the Fantasy
yeah,
National
yeah.
Basketball Association.
I can dunk. Yeah.
The SNBA.
I got
Small.
It's a
well,
call. Oh my
size
God.
11
Okay.
chicks. So
It's small, much smaller than that. Adult sized, but smaller.
Maybe you
Okay.
Adult
should
human
try
sized.
and roll something to determine what kind of feet they are.
a shoe size check.
See some
No,
Adidas.
or no, to just see if you can,
Can I do a Nike check, please?
Just
I would
do it.
like to actually try to see the direction of. So it looks like it was dragging the body towards the water, which isn't that surprising.
Dragging
'cause it's
something. Yes.
Dragging something towards the water, which isn't that surprising because that's where we found Bella, or that's where they found Bella.
I will say actually too that you can kind of see that there is a faint trail of blood that seems to have been somewhat. It's not like literally a drag line like a red carpet, but you can see that there is blood going in that direction as well now that you're looking
Okay.
at it closely.
I want to track that as far as I can. So if I
Okay.
track that all the way to the water,
Yes.
what do I see?
Yes. So you pretty much track it straight west, and you can see that there are consistent marks with something being kind of dragged onto the bank and pushed into the water. And then the footprints, which were obviously much deeper in the muddy banks of the river, then kind of head back onto the pathway, and you kind of lose track of them in the more hardened dirt there.
Do they go north?
I was gonna say, can I?
They go south,
Hmm.
actually.
Okay. All right. Keeping track of that. I take my foot. I take one of my feet and I step next to the footprint, and I take my knife and I just cut a notch into where I line my heel up with their heel, and I
Cool.
cut a notch into my shoe to try to take measurement of how big their foot is.
Cool.
And I make my way to the tavern.
Awesome. Yeah. So, are you guys doing anything on the way? Or you just going straight there?
No, I think we were just kind of headed that way, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
So after probably you're starting to wonder where Glenn is, but you guys are waiting out. Do you guys just go inside and get started? Or you waiting outside for him?
no, I mean I would have just waited outside.
Okay. Yeah. So you just
Hey, yo,
wait.
Rengrim, I'm gonna wait outside for Glenn. I don't feel safe having conversations amidst town folk. It's just already giving them the heebie-jeebies.
I agree. And I would make my way into the tavern.
awesome. Yeah.
Wait,
cool.
bring me one outside, right?
To go.
Yeah,
To go, Cubs.
To go, Cubs.
Awesome. So you're getting 2 beers to go.
Right.
Cool. Awesome. So yeah, as you're coming out, then Glenn is kind of walking up.
Oh, yo, Glenn. We was gonna order you one, but it's so foofy. We just didn't want to get it wrong.
I tried to order it, but the Dragonborn lady said she's never made a chafing nips before.
Shit. Boys, I'd say appreciate the hospitality, but just a few pennies short, if we will. Rangrim, that's a flaming lips, not chafing nips. Flaming. Look at me, Rangrim. Flaming
Flaming
lips.
lips.
Good. I walk
Well,
inside.
deeply is
Is it
uncomfortable, though.
spicy?
I just walk away. I just go inside, and I approach. I approach Jody. I'm guessing she's the only bartender. Are there other bartenders?
No, it's just Jody.
I approach Jody and say, "Hey, Jody, how's it
Hey.
going?
Hey, welcome back.
Man, your voice got deep. How you doing?"
Well, it's been a morning. I guess I can heighten it a little bit. There you go. Hey, there, I found it.
There she is. Smoker's cough. I get it.
Yeah, pack a day keeps the doctor away. That's what they say.
So, not sure if the boys told you, but we had ourselves a busy morning.
I have absolutely no idea what the hell you're talking about.
Perfect. It's good you don't know. Keeps you safe. Can I get one more of the magic elixir you made for me earlier?
Oh yeah, that weird flower water. Yeah, hold on one sec.
I mean, it's your recipe, whatever you want to call it. Weird flower water, on the way.
Yeah, no, Actually, call it the chafed nips. I think it's got some brand potential.
God damn
Damn
it.
So she starts doing her shit again and makes you your cool cocktail and pass it over to you in your little glass like a
How
nice
much?
fluted.
How much for the boys' drinks in mine?
Actually, the dwarf already paid, so you can take this one. I enjoy making it. It's nice to have a challenge.
I appreciate it. To chafe nips. I like give her a little toast and I walk away. I join the boys outside.
Cool. Just that was a little fun RP session. It's good.
That was so funny. I was dying. I'm so dead.
So as Glenn walks outside,
I,
puts the fluted glass down. He like takes like a heavy set. He's like, "Boys, I blew it. I was
what?
gonna get us that little coward." And I, you know me, pure muscle. I ripped that tent wide open.
Right.
You were there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was there. I was on the other side. I figured you guys were just doing so good that I didn't want to, intrude. Probably
I
would have helped
kind of
with the
forgot
elf.
about you.
We lost sight of
know-
you, and it's just out of sight, out of mind. We just handled it.
Dwarfs don't have object permanence.
But I'd say that's hurtful, but it's pretty par for the course these days. But let's kind of wrap up where we were.
Lynn's gonna be the
Right.
big bad, you guys.
Yeah, I'm gonna kill all of them.
Not in our sleep.
It's true. So I was
We just, I really find something just so strange about that group. Just something feels off. I can't put my finger on it. What did you see from where you were?
So I mean, you guys know about my little bird friend, and like right on cue lands on my shoulder. I was like, we did a bit of snooping, and we saw some of those light colored hairs. We saw some. I don't know if it'd necessarily be as vibrant as a tiger, but we saw some orange hairs, kind of scattered throughout the goats. But I'll be honest, the way it was just kind of thrown about there, didn't really seem like an animal would have left that much carcass behind, right? If it was really a tiger, it would have been mauled and eaten. I don't really think tigers or any predator is really going to leave just a half-eaten carcass behind.
I've never had a tiger, but I don't like to eat the bones. But sure, I suppose.
I can tell you, they wasn't the ones that ate these goats, unless they're hiding their real teeth.
That's an interesting proposition, but I think we might need to. I mean, I was hearing through crow's ears, and I don't know if you know, but it's actually just holes into their head. It's really weird. It's just like the feathers just cover up these holes. Joseph may have been able to speak for him or preach about their validity. Is that someone we might need to look into? Because he's come up a few times in this investigation. We have not met him one time, minus
Right, yeah.
our way into town.
I was just pressing for something. There's something not right, and I was just really leaning into him, wanting something, and they seem to know somebody in town, something that brought them here, and so I wanted to know what brought them here, and they just brought up his name. What about you, Rangrave?
I think we should go find this Joseph and see why he keeps helping them. Someone gave him those goats.
Right, but what about the boy? Do we pursue just trying to find out where this boy is? And what was his friend? Bella's friend, James?
James, yeah.
You're right, James. I don't know. We've
You
got
think that might have been the boy they were talking about? I haven't heard of many kids living in this town besides James.
I don't know. I mean, maybe. I don't reckon that any of the other three there was young. So
Well, why don't we get another round and go visit Joseph? Looks like you guys are a little empty. And Glenn stands up and walks towards Jody, or walks inside to get another beer.
Okay. You just get another round.
Well, I get another
Great.
round. And I ask Jody if there's. I get I get another round. I get 2 road meads for the dwarves,
Cool.
and then I ask her, "Hey Jody, we how many kids you got around this part? We keep hearing Bella had maybe 1 or 2 friends, but James seems to be the main BFF, if you will. There are a lot of kids around here for Bella to entertain herself, or just kind of James and Bella here?"
Yeah, no, we actually don't have that many kids around this area. It's mostly the old salty sea dogs like these fuckers over here. I think honestly, I could be mistaken, but I think Bella and James were the only kids that were in town. Most of the, like I said, most of the people that live here just work here, so they come from somewhere else and don't really, they're out on the lake so often they don't really have much time for family and whatnot.
I understand. Lake is your lady, if you will. Thanks, Jody. And flips her. I don't know how much this costs. A silver?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Flips her a silver and takes all the 4 meads and the 1 fluted glass of chafing nips, and walks out towards the boys and sits down. Says,
Hey, it doesn't chafe? Silver.
Said, boys, I think we might be onto something with James. I think he might be the only other tyke in town. We might need to check in with him.
You suspect we should see him before Joseph?
I mean,
Where's Tyke in town?
No, it's not like in town. It's an expression. It's okay. I think the best way to walk off a little bit of a buzz, or the best way to experience a buzz, is to take a little bit of a walk. I say we visit Joseph first. His name keeps popping up a little too frequently for me to want to start looking to a kid for something this heinous.
I think that's fair. I'd put my mug down on the table and make my way to the door.
Cool. So you guys are heading over to location 4 then?
Cosmo, you cool with that, or you got different ideas?
No, that seems right. I suspect that we should go and see old Joseph before we move on to James.
Do we maybe need to come up with an approach for Joseph? Are we taking this, good soldier, bad soldier? How we doing this? Maybe you guys entertain him up front, and I can see what's happening. Maybe in the shop behind him. How do you guys want to approach this?
I suspect that you do much better most of the time, just being all sneaky like, and we'll just try and intimidate from the front.
Look, not a lot of people expect a tent to just fall apart in their arms, but my overwhelming strength and power it has its ways.
Right. Yeah, I know that. I know how that can be sometimes, but
And he flexes, but there's like no change. It is just like it almost goes in, like it it goes the wrong way.
Amazing.
well, that's
I think we go pay Joseph a visit. I'll let you guys take the initial interaction, and I'll see if I can't work my way behind, maybe up the docks.
Great.
all right. So we are at 3.
You are at 9. You're heading to 4.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's fine. Let's onward to 4.
Yeah.
And-
So.
Sorry. So when if they're walking across the bridge and straight down the thoroughfare
Mm-hmm.
to kind of the road we came through.
You're hooking to the left.
Yeah, I'm hooking left. I again, disrobe, bundle it up, stab it into the wood of one of the houses with an arrow, and then I cast disguise self to look like one of just the fishermen.
Okay.
That
Yeah.
I probably passed.
I'll say you can turn into that fisher, the dwarf that was drunk and passed out on the ground.
What is his name? Noah.
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 He's too short.
No, I wouldn't want to be someone that.
Familiar.
Yeah, that familiar. Maybe one of, and not one of the vagrants, but
Does it
I
have
would
to,
be-
I mean, there are definitely other fishermen around that were just kind of hanging out over by those huts where Noah was headed off to, over by 11. So if you want to turn into one of them, you totally can. Just you run you don't know where they're at right now.
Yeah, so this is what I do. So I would disguise self into one of the Imperial Guards from Tin Town, but with clothing of like a fisherman. So like
Okay.
a completely
Smart.
unique face, but clothes that would kind of match the area.
Awesome.
And I would look very unassuming as I'm approaching, and I would start going into stealth, like looking at those buildings. There's 3 buildings. I would start like trying to stay as out of sight, out of mind as possible once that 3rd building ends.
Cool. Awesome. And Rangram and Cosmo, you guys are walking just up the thoroughfare.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. As you're getting closer to the essentially the little market area where there's all these different shops with people selling things, most of which are empty right now, and you can just hear like the clopping of Joseph hitting meat with his cleaver, and you see out in front of the market area, actually there's like those 5 dogs, those pretty vicious dogs you saw coming into town. They're all kind of sitting there like and moving around as if they're waiting for something, and then you see a leg of something get thrown out from Joseph's little covered shop area, and which is essentially just like a canvas tent thing with like poles. It's all completely open, and then he has like a butcher block table and some meat hanging around him. And so he throws this thing out, and then the dogs just go fucking nuts for it and are just like fighting each other and biting each other, and then they all kind of just take off running back out of town.
As we approach, he's out on a deck. He's outside. Or
Yeah, he's
just out on
outside.
a
So
shop block?
it's essentially like a think of like a what is it called? I can't think of it. Like an awning, essentially, like a canvas
Sure.
awning with like wooden poles all open. There's like meat hanging there, like cured meats hanging around him, and he just has like a scrub butcher block wooden table in front of him that has like storage, you would assume, on the other side of it.
Right. Okay.
And he's standing behind that and just kind of chopping up with his big ass cleaver that he has. And he seems to be chopping up some sort of small like livestock of some sort.
Did the dogs look like they responded to him, or did it look like the dogs were just waiting for meat?
They seemed pretty. I mean, they were definitely. They're not. They were waiting for him to throw the meat to them.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's not like they just happened by and he threw it out there. Like they came.
They know
him.
to show up to the butcher
Yes.
shop to get
Yes.
spare cuts or whatever. Okay, cool.
Yeah. All right. So kind of as we enter into the like butcher area, I suppose, if that's where we are.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're essentially walking. You're walking up to his little tent thing now.
Right. And it would just kind of be more of like a friendly greeting of like, hey, are you Joseph?
I know if that's not the voice I want to go with. Yeah. Who's asking?
Well, my name is Cosmo. This is me friend Rengrim, and I suppose maybe you've heard of us. We're kind of the new kids on the block.
Yeah, I saw you come into town. What can I help you with? I'm busy.
Right, I don't mean to take very much of your time there, mate. I could tell you're working hard. We appreciate that.
I got cuts of meat all around me. Pick one out you like, and I'll tell you how much it is.
Well, actually, we're not quite here for a cut of meat. We actually have come to ask you a few questions regarding some of the murders that have been going along.
Well, how is that equitable to me? Why are you? I don't really take kindly to people coming to my town and poking around.
Well, sir, we just mean the innocent people is being killed, and
It's pretty sad, isn't it?
mayor's asked that we come and try and solve this mystery.
It's a pretty sore situation that's going on, and when people come and bring up the past, it's not good. No one likes that.
I'm not trying to bring up any sort of particular past, but we are still trying to solve this murderer. It's clearly still on the loose, and if I'm being straightforward, I have suspicion that your friends outside of town might be involved.
Friends? What kind of friends do I have?
I don't know. I reckon Leon sent me here to
The second you say Leon, the second you say the name, you can see him. He's had a pretty stern kind of visage, but you take him off guard with that, and it's just a small thing. But you definitely can tell that he's surprised you know that information.
Okay. Well, so I reckon your friend Leon sent me here to honestly kind of give good, just tell us that they're innocent, because truthfully right now something just everyone's a suspect, and right.
Well, I don't know what you're doing poking around out there and poking into anyone else's business and bothering folks that are not bothering anyone else.
Well,
Leon?
no. We was doing our own investigation, and we caught those guys stalking us and following us around.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, isn't exactly what you're doing here, looking around, exactly what you caught them doing, which was just looking at you.
No. Right now, we's here on a mission, as asked by the mayor, to solve this murder. We're following clues with facts and trying to ask questions and solve this thing. They just didn't know us and felt like it was reasonable to follow us around the woods.
They're good folk. Those guys are good folk. I they have it hard up, and I help them when I can, but there's no reason to be thinking they're doing anything foul. I can vouch for them if that's what you're looking for. But I do need to get back to it. You if you're not buying anything,
Right.
you gotta go.
One more question, and we'll be out of your way. But any chance you know
He
that?
takes his cleaver and wedges it. He slams it down, he's not happy, and he slams it down to the point where it's wedged in the lock now.
Any chance these friends have had a large creature in the past? Anything with claws, teeth?
Roll an insight check.
Insight check is gonna get me a.
Rangrim can do it too because he was right there.
Insight's gonna get me a 12.
Okay.
And mine would be, there we go. That is a 17 naturally. And I have a +6 insight. So that's 23.
Wow. Yes.
I should be insight checking a lot more.
He sees through Joseph. You can see Joseph's bones.
Yes. So, Cosmo, you don't really pick anything up. You're kind of very focused on just on Joseph. Rangrim, you definitely pick up that Joseph he knows exactly what Cosmo's talking about.
Oh shit! He knows.
So I'd kind of lean into him a little bit. Like, you know more than you're letting on. Meat man.
Rangrim,
Yeah,
show some
sick
respect.
bird.
Show some respect. We're just trying to bother this con man and ask some questions.
Meat
That
Man,
was
the
a
grossest
question.
Mega Man.
But answer the question, Joseph.
You know what? I don't have to answer shit. You guys came to my town. And he's like, you know what? This is fucking done. And he pulls the cleaver out, and he just starts walking backwards towards not walking backwards. He turns around and starts walking away from you guys. He starts Michael Jackson stepping away from you guys.
Moonwalking?
Ee-hee.
Can I rewind the clock, retcon the start of the conversation?
Yeah. We
when
hit
that
88
happened,
miles an hour.
when I saw them approach and start the conversation, I would approach the back of the little shop that he has. You said there was another kind of building that had.
Yeah. So I'll say that he's kind of against one of these. I'll say he's one of the first bays, and so he's against this bigger warehouse to the right there, and he kind of walks over into a door and slams it behind him. That's the direction he would have been going towards. It's shut. It does have those like barn doors on the back side there. You can see kind of by the ladder that's on the map. So I guess I'm looking at, if you're looking at the 6 market tents that are there, the buildings, the first building to the right hand side there would be the building he's going to walk into.
Okay, so like when I saw the conversation start, and that's kind of like the building I was leaning up against, I would try to sneak my way into that building. Is there a door, or is there any like type of window back there?
Yes. I'm going to say you won't be able to get into the one that he is near because it's literally right behind him, the doorway. But if you want to try to get into those locked double doors that go out towards the water,
Yeah,
then
yeah,
yes.
exactly.
Yeah, roll me a... I know that there's a way to roll thieves tools, but if you want to just roll a sleight of hand, that also works. We need to look that up.
I'm proficient in my thieves tools.
Does that just mean you add your proficiency to your roll?
I think so.
But is there like I feel like rolling a sleight of hand would be better then because you're proficient and you get a bonus.
For me, yes, absolutely.
Let's just do a sleight of hand. I think that's completely fine.
Okay. 14.
Okay. Yeah, so actually, you can't. Your thieves tools are broken.
They are broken. I did not.
Oh
fix
yeah, you
them
never
yet.
fixed them.
They're in Rangrim's pocket too.
That's true.
In the door that I broke off.
Yeah.
Okay, so I would, knowing
That
this,
totally explains the 3-pound doorknob note I have.
there it
I
is.
forgot about that.
Those critical things. We'll put that in the wiki.
Knowing this, knowing that my lockpick's broken, I would try to fashion like just Jimmy rig like a dagger as a knife. I'll re-roll as disadvantage, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Okay. I was better, so 14 still.
Yeah, so this lock is pretty kind of, it's like rusted and it hasn't been well maintained. So you're
Ocean
able to
air.
Yeah, exactly. No, lake air. Bonhurst lock air. You're able to kind of jam this thing in here and pretty easily, it's brittle, and you pop this thing open. It does break the lock, but you do get this lock off here and you're able to, if you want to roll me a stealth check, you can move on into this building.
Stealth is +9. I got an 11.
Okay.
Got 2.
Yeah, so you are able to kind of open the door quietly and pull and sneak your way into this room, shutting it behind you. And you find yourself in this pretty much open warehouse it has a catwalk up above, but there are racks and hooks hanging all of these cuts of meat and different, like, it's kind of colder in here. And it's you can see that there is just like meat and cured meat, and it's just a storage for this butcher.
Okay. Is there any like desk of any kind? Is there any type of like, like a desk, like any type of bookkeeping that exists there?
Yeah, there's a smaller sectioned off room into the back if you want to go over there.
Okay. I do 2 things. I send Poe to stand by. I imagine like I walk in, I see all like the meat hooks.
Mm-hmm.
I send Poe to stand in one of the meat hooks, kind of looking towards where I see like a beam of light coming from the other door, and give him the heads up, like, hey, you see anything?
I mean, you can
Just
probably
walk.
He's literally right outside that area, so you could probably hear the yelling, and you're probably about halfway through their conversation right now, so you can hear things kind of escalating.
Okay. So as stealthily as possible, I would make my way over towards that second room.
Okay.
Is the door unlocked?
Yeah, it's unlocked. It's partially open.
So I'd start scouring the room for any like documentation. So similar to what I found within Ellis's home. Like there's like 5 gold that's like unaccounted for, which is way more than the cost of the goats that he normally raises. I mean, there's a few things I want to check for, but the first thing I want to check for is any type of like bookkeeping documentation, any type of paperwork that would be tied to any kind of correspondence, any letters, any invoices, anything like that.
Okay.
I imagine he
Yeah.
doesn't
Roll.
write a lot, so anything he writes down is probably pretty important.
Yeah. Roll me an investigation.
I'm going to use my inspiration on this one because I've been rolling like butts.
Smart.
Big old butt cheeks. Oh, shit. Natural 19, investigation 24 total.
Okay. Yeah. So pretty quickly, you're able to find corresponding documents to what you found at Ellis's place for essentially receipts for having purchased just a large quantity of goats over time from Ellis to Joseph. You don't find much more than that. It doesn't, like you were saying, it doesn't seem like this person writes. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not like he has diaries saying, "Dear diary, I totally wanked it so hard," or anything like that.
What I put in
But-
my diary.
Yeah, for sure. Every single time you got to keep track. You have only a limited number, so you don't find much in this office.
Okay. I don't find much by way of paperwork, so then I kind of move my way out and looking at the different cuts of meat and the different racks of meat. Do I notice any of the scarred markings or like the aggressive, like the tearing that Rangrim had told me about previously on any of the pieces of meat?
You don't see, no, everything seems as it should be for a butcher shop. Everything seems clean. Everything seems like it's well curing. It smells like kind of funky, but it doesn't smell like rotting meat of any kind in here.
And does it all look like it's goat meat, or does it all look?
It's different cuts. Yeah, it's different cuts. There's goat meat for sure, but it does seem like he gets other shipments in from outside of just what Ellis was selling. So there's lots of different cuts of different things. There's also fish curing from the fishermen. There's lots of, so you're getting lots of really cool weird smells in here.
Okay. And then I take 5 pounds of fish before I leave.
Okay. Yeah. Roll me a stealth if you're getting on out of there.
Yeah. I go out the back door again for
What kind of fish do you take?
the biggest one.
Okay.
I just take the largest fish I think I can carry.
You take a nice like kind of like a black bass or something like big cut up, whatever the hell kind of big, or what would it be?
Tuna.
Yeah.
it's a
Well,
lake.
there's
I don't
no.
know.
It's a lake.
Yeah, we're on a lake, so a freshwater thing. So
Boys.
freshwater sharks.
So my
A
stealth check to
1.
get out is a 1. It's my third one of the night.
Yeah. So you, you are walking to go out the back door as you hear the door slam open and slam shut, and you are essentially like he's looking away from you right now. And you're behind one of the cuts of meat, but you are definitely in the same room with this person, and there's not a lot hiding you from him.
Does he see me?
He has not seen you yet that you know. He essentially came in a huff, turned around immediately, and slammed the door hard behind him. And you just hear him like breathing heavily, and then starts walking into the room.
I club him over the back of the head with a really heavy fish.
Are you good? Okay?
I take a sneak attack with a heavy ass fish. Well, I guess it wouldn't be a sneak attack because it's a weapon.
Yeah,
Wouldn't
it's
be a sneak attack.
you.
Fuck.
You do have advantage on the attack, but you're
Yeah,
gonna
but
have
it's not a sneak attack. Yeah.
right? Because you don't have proficiency with it.
Shit. Oh, get fucked. It's a natural 18. I don't know for a heavy fish weapon what that does.
I would say that's I'd say that's like unarmed attack. So I'm gonna say like a D4.
Okay.
If you want to roll a D4 plus your, I guess would it be strength?
Strength, yeah.
Yeah.
Which good news. I have 0 of it.
Oh, good.
Oh, it's still a 4. So I hit him in the back of the head with a big ass fish.
For
Okay,
4.
I'm gonna roll a percentage dice here.
I'm gonna erase the fact that I stole 5 pounds of fish from my notes because I just lost it.
You just
'Kay.
beat him with it.
So
Boys,
he-
I was gonna make some great dinner. I'm sorry.
so you bang him over the head with this thing, and he goes down, but he's not out. Like he kind of, you knock him downwards, and he's on all fours, and he's just kind of, confused for a second. Are you going to take advantage of that? And
So when he's confused for a second, I take I take a beeline to the door that he just came through, and I kick the door open, and I go, "Boys, get in here!"
Okay.
Oh, there you are, Glenn. Oh my goodness. And we run in.
Okay.
What have you done?
What the fuck? What the hell was that?
He's not even unconscious.
No, he's not unconscious
Very
at
much
all.
awake.
Yeah. And he stands up and has this big cleaver, and he's like, what the fuck? What are you guys doing? Get out of here!
I heard some yelling, and we're here to help.
And you're on my property. You get the fuck out right now.
I thought it was maybe the tiger. I think it's a tiger. I just wanted to make sure that you were okay, Meat Man.
Are you trying to calm him down?
Yes, in my own.
Roll a persuasion to see if he actually believes you or not.
Come on.
The DC is going to be so high.
Astronomical. I hope so. What is it? Persuasion?
Yeah.
17.
Okay. So he's definitely like he's kind of listening to you, but he's still like just fucking ready with his cleaver to swing this thing down on one of you guys if you get close to him. You need to get out of here right now. This is not cool. We don't have guards, but I'll get people here. This is not legal.
Right. No, we don't try to mean anything, but honestly, there's no reason to walk away from when I'm talking to you.
I have every
kinda
right
rude.
to walk away from a conversation I don't want to have anymore.
Well, I wasn't finished yet. And right now, you're kind of suspicious.
He's gonna start walking towards you with his cleaver and is gonna start like kind of swinging it in front of himself, like get out of here, get out of here.
Well, why do you think it's okay that you can walk away when we're talking?
This is my goddamn.
The moment
this is
he starts talking, I walk away.
Okay. Awesome.
Glenn is like the other fisherman guy for sure dipped. Like the second they came in, I like walked out. I'm like, nope, gone.
Cool. Did you just push your way out of the back door, or you walked out the door you came out?
No, when I was like, guys, get in here, I kept going and they came in.
Okay. Also, I like it because you don't look like Glenn at all.
I'm a complete straight. Well, I don't want them to know. Yeah.
He doesn't?
No,
No.
I look
No,
like an
he's disguised
Imperial
self.
guard.
Oh, okay.
I assume you might have known or seen him transform before you guys split.
Oh,
So
okay.
I would have done it very candidly.
I just
also
think that's
addressed you
fucking
as
hilarious.
guys,
Right. That's fair.
very, very in a very friendly manner.
My boys, come.
So Cosmo doesn't leave at this point. And he's just like, hey, listen. I know
You better listen. You better do what your friend did. Get out of here.
Hey, I have questions and I just want to talk. If you want to swing that thing at me, then we'll go. But right now, I'm just trying to talk, mate.
All right. What? You got one question. That's it. Get out of here after that.
Who has the tiger?
What fucking tiger are you talking about?
Now,
Roll an insight. Roll an insight.
roll an insight.
Awesome. Who's got a tiger?
Do I have insight?
Turns out this whole murder spree was because there was a circus that rolled through town like 30,
They're
30
gone.
days ago. Yeah.
A 16.
Okay. Yeah. So let me think. Oh. If you're gonna look for a tiger anywhere, you're gonna need to look in the woods.
We've already been
It's
there.
not here in town. It's not in my fucking shop. Do you see any tiger markings here? Do you see a fucking tiger behind that slab of meat? You need to get out of here.
No, but everybody that we've talked to that has that shows evidence or supports this tiger somewhere or someone, whoever is hiding it, is doing a pretty damn good job. And right now, a lot of it points to you, mate.
What kind of evidence points to me?
Right now, everything, what we found your name.
No, I would like to know specifically what evidence points to me. Give me one.
Right now, your name was all over Ellis's house, and you gave away all those goats to your friends.
Yeah? I don't know anything about any goats.
They were Ellis's goats that he was
Yeah.
working with you on.
Yeah, I used to buy goats from Ellis when he was alive. I don't know anything about any other goats. What kind of evidence do you have?
And your friends out there in the forest, there's claw marks all over the place. We're finding fur everywhere, and somebody out here is hiding something. And we think that you know who. And I really lean in with an intimidation on that one.
Okay. Rangrim, while you're outside, because you walked outside, you see Bareth come walking around the corner and towards Joseph's place, and then see you, and then just start running the opposite direction.
I'm absolutely gonna chase him.
Okay, we'll
Wait.
get back to that here in a second.
Wait,
We'll
where does
finish
he
up with so he walked around the front, but he was walking down the cobblestone area, and he was peeking, he was looking to go talk to, like, over to where Joseph's little outdoor sales area is, and came around the corner of the warehouse, saw Rangrim, and then just immediately ran.
Okay.
So he's over on the cobble street area and is running back towards the
forest.
yeah.
So I would have made my way back towards the tavern as the fisherman imperial guy, and seeing Rangrim, if they pass that way, seeing Rangrim chase after him, I would actually I wouldn't chase, but I would start following that direction.
Okay, I'm gonna let Cosmo
For sure.
finish what
Yeah,
he's
yeah. I'm
doing.
just saying he would all
Sure.
Glenn's following.
My intimidation check is not a natural, but it is a 20.
Dirty 20.
It's a dirty
Okay.
20.
All right, so he. So he seems to kind of like, he's not intimidated per se, but he definitely, like, he knows you're serious now, and he just looks at you and he goes, "You're gonna get hurt. You and your friends are gonna get hurt if you keep poking around here. Just go home. Just leave. This isn't your town. Doesn't matter to you. Leave it be."
I can't do that. I can't. I'm sorry. I'm too
Listen.
involved.
Listen, I got gold. I can give you gold. You just leave it be. Just go home.
I can't do that. It's not in me conscious right
You
now.
have my word. You have my word that I didn't kill anyone.
Well, somebody killed 2 people.
Yeah, that may be, but it's in the past. Just take the gold and just go. Leave.
What tells me it's not in this town's future?
I can't tell you that. I don't know. I can't tell you that at all. But I can tell you that you can take the gold right now and not worry about any of it, and no one gets hurt.
No.
What does it matter to you? You don't know these people. You don't care. You're just here. You're for a bounty. Who gives a shit? Just take the money and go.
Right now, it's for the better of Sakor.
I like that this is happening to Cosmo, the only one who it has no chance of working on. So, okay. He is going to... So he's realizing this isn't working, and he's going to start backing up towards the doors that are heading out to the. So essentially, there's double doors on both ends of this warehouse, and so he's backing up away from the ones that Glenn snuck through on the backside,
Mm-hmm.
towards the ones that are on the main street, and he's kind of backing up with his cleaver still held. Like, listen, you got to get out of here. I'm gonna go talk to Cedric. You guys aren't allowed to do this stuff. and he's just backing up towards that door and is trying to essentially is going to open the door.
Before I say something, I want to clarify that I actually know it.
Mhm.
Glenn, would you have shared what you heard about the boy?
I think you already brought it up, so he definitely would have shared it.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
did when we were outside the tavern.
Okay,
Yeah, we
that's
were
what I
talking
thought.
at the tavern. We were talking about it. Yeah.
I didn't bring up a boy. I don't think I did. Did I?
You did.
Okay.
Yeah, you
okay.
mentioned it at least once. So
Okay.
I just assumed at that point that Glenn had told you.
Okay.
Yeah, when
Alright, cool.
when I approached with the drinks too, I
Okay.
brought up that they were talking about a boy.
Okay. Well, all right. So then, Joseph, you can leave, but I want you to know we're gonna find the boy, and Cedric is behind us. And then he would begin to motion to walk away.
Okay. So you just turn and walk out the other door.
Yeah.
And so yeah, so he's like essentially at this point he was like halfway opening. He was like trying to open up the doors to the outside, and he's waiting to see whether you're going to leave or not. And he, as you walk out, then yeah, you just go. So are you just? So I assume now at this point you see Rangrim take off around the corner after whatever, just booking it away from you, and then Rangrim's running down, essentially down the pathway. I guess down the path across the bridge, and that's when Glenn would see him chasing Barrett, like, leave me alone.
Better
Where you
question.
going, buddy?
Are they coming my way, or they just run past me already?
They're coming your way.
I
I see.
tripped the
Yeah.
fuck out of Barrett.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, you stick your you come. He's like running past the inn, and you stick your foot out and just trip him, and he goes fucking sprawling right there in front of that cart that's on the map in that big open area, the dirt area right in front of the inn, Tavern at 9.
I walk up. So like after I trip him, I like as Rangrim's gaining, I come up behind him. And was like, hey, I guess that was my tent. How you doing, bud? And I pick him up and like restrain him.
Okay. Awesome.
So I guess would they have even made it out of eye shot if I like walk up and be like tried to figure out where they go? Did I see him like?
So Rangrim, you would have seen Rangrim running out just around the corner as you came out.
Okay.
And then so you could chase right after him. So you're just
Okay.
behind him.
Yeah.
And
that's
so
fine.
both of you guys would be there very quickly, just for because we're about to wrap up here. So I just want to make sure that for brevity's sake, even
Yeah.
though it took me 10 hours to just get that sentence out. Yeah. So you guys are both there at the same time.
Cool. All right. What happened? What happened there, mates? What did I miss?
As you like kind of walk up, I drop my disguise, and it's Glenn with the silk robes again. He goes, this character had some more information that he felt like sharing with us, and was so kind to run on over and talk to me directly. I figure we can all talk about this. Maybe we should duck inside to Ellis's cabin, see if that jogs any
Ooh.
memories. And I start like dragging him over towards Ellis's house.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you guys are over in Ellis's house.
I kind of like just chuck him to the floor. Said, "Hey, buddy, what's your name? I don't want to be too rude before we get too much further with this."
It's Bareth. What are you gonna do to me?
As he starts to say that, I like pull out the. Actually, no, fuck it. I take off my back the like clothed, double-bladed scimitar, and I like hold it in my hand, and it like just lights with green flames. I said, "I feel like you're gonna want to share some more information with us."
He is immediately just like, you see his pants that are already pretty soiled, but just like get dark immediately, and he's just like sitting in a liquid pile on the ground now at this point.
You mentioned a boy earlier when we were, well, I guess when you were talking to your friends. What boy are you talking about? What's going on? We've been looking after. We've been
Intimidation with advantage for sure.
been trying to find Bella's murder, and it seems like you have a little more information than you've been willing to share. I don't know if I have anything in intimidation.
It's advantage.
+1, 17.
Yeah. He got bit. It wasn't our fault, but he got bit.
Who did?
Who got bit?
The boy, James. You said his name. Boy, he got bit. It wasn't our fault. We were told to do it, but he got bit, and that's I don't know anything else. He got bit, and that's when all the stuff started happening.
Cosmo
When you
walks
said,
out.
When you said he was bit and you were told to do it, who told you? Who gave the order? And I like spike the double-bladed green flame scimitar like right between his legs, like right into the puddle between his legs.
Okay. Yeah. So he is extremely terrified, and you actually see him like as he's getting like really, really, really scared. The hair on his arms is kind of getting a little bit longer, and it's not like transforming all the way. It's just like or changing fully, but like you just see like this kind of hair start to like come out of his arms, like not any kind of like transformation, just like he gets extremely hairy like really quickly, and it's just kind of like he's just really scared still. But yeah, what did you ask him?
Asked him who. Glenn said who told him to get James bit. It basically said like I did what I was told to do. Who gave the order?
It was Joseph. Joseph told us.
And
he said that he'd feed us if we just did that one thing for him, and he's held true to his word. But can I just go, please?
Glenn pulls the double bladed from the wood flooring, I'm guessing, or dirt flooring, whatever it is. And
it's wood.
I give a look to Rangrim. I kind of like nod towards the door to kind of like keep an eye on it, sort of thing. And I look to him and say, "Hey, I know you're a little scared, and Bareth, we're not here to come for you. We just need to know who was killing these people. Was it you guys? We
haven't killed anyone. We don't mean anyone harm. We came to town because Leon knew Joseph, and he had heard that he likes our kind, and he has a certain reputation as an affinity for the wares, and we heard he'd take care of us, and everything was great. And then he asked us to do that, and he hasn't asked us anything else, but I don't know. I think if there's anyone that has to do with this, I think when you first transform, you don't have a lot of control, and if the boy's been transforming uncontrolled, he could have easily done that.
Bareth, I need you to take some deep breaths with me, okay? We're just having a conversation. I'm sorry I came on a little heavy there. Wasn't necessarily sure what energy you're bringing, but tell me, what are your people? You say affinity for your people. I've come across a couple, maybe were creatures, but where do you sit in that?
So you can actually see the hair that's growing out of his arm now is like it's not, like I said, it seemed to have stopped, but now you're taking a better look at it. You can see that it has an orange hue and these black stripes going all the way up him, and you can see it kind of coming through on his face a little bit too.
Bareth, my friend, we don't. I can tell you're not trying to hurt anybody, and you're just doing what your tribe and your group is telling you to do. But do you know why Joseph wants to turn people? If he's not traveling with you, he's not adding to your pack, what do you guys get out of changing someone's life?
I said he's got a certain reputation. He's known by a name within the wares, and they call him the Tiger King. And that is where we're going to end the episode.
Fucking.
Oh, his name's Joseph. I'm a moron.